Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the 40 books that we've read so far in 2022. I wanted to invite Miranda into this video, my beautiful wife, because we've spent a lot of time this year so far, this year 2022, reading. Combined between us, we've read 40 books. Now, I've read 18, Miranda's read 22, she wins.
My head.
She's also read longer and bigger books and more difficult books, actually. So you definitely win, whatever the battle there was. There was no real competition, but Miranda wins. So thank you, welcome for being here. Welcome, Miranda.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being me.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, my goal this year was to read more classic books, so that was my kind of goal going into 2022, and that's been really good to kind of focus in and have more of a goal with reading instead of just a number of books, but a number of books and a certain type of book, so It's been very good.
Yeah. We're going to share out of the 40 books we've read, the 3 books that we have added to our absolute must-read list, and we're excited to share those with you. And then we also wanted to share some of the ones we didn't like, some of the ones that you can avoid. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about in this video.
Great.
Okay. All right, you have the list.
Well, we were going to start with our 3 favorite, right?
We're going to start with the 3 favorites. So go ahead. You want to do the first one? Do the honors.
So the one I picked basically was the collection, which is kind of a cop-out, but I got this collection from Amazon that was called Puffins in Bloom. Why it's called Puffins in Bloom, I have no idea.
I love the name. The name is so like whimsical, right?
Yeah, but like Puffins in Bloom, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason.
Because puffins are animals, right?
Yeah.
And flowers bloom.
But is it like a book company Puffin something?
Maybe. I don't know. It's Penguin Random House.
Penguin. Yeah, that's
So it's not Puffin Random House. Maybe that's we should look at the books.
I don't know.
Anyway,
it is a collection of classics that I read at the very beginning of the year, and the collection includes A Little Princess, Heidi, Little Women, and Anne of Green Gables. And,
your favorite one?
Yeah. The collection was just really good, and after reading all 4 of those books, you just feel, I don't know, like a better person, and they're just so good and feel good and wholesome, and I think we need more of that.
You would say that's why it's on your must-read list?
Yeah, just especially for the current climate of the world, it's just good to read those kind of books that have like strong moral values and just good storytelling and not so heavy.
Yeah.
But also incorporates, obviously being brave and doing those things. And yeah, just the whole collection was great. A lot of these I've seen the movie of before, or television show or whatever, but not read the book. So this was the first time reading the book, so that was really enjoyable.
Was there one that stuck out, or are you just saying like must read, like you must read all 4?
Yeah, I think my favorites are Anne of Green Gables and Little Women. Little Women has like a big connection with my family, and there's like a lot of sentimental value there. Anne of Green Gables, I just love her. She's so she's so fun. So
cool. Anything else you want to say about that must read?
No, I think it's just a great one that it's just a collection of books everyone should read.
Okay, cool. So my choice, these were all our choices, but is a book called Breath by James Nestor, or Nestor probably. Yeah. And it's just we have it somewhere, but it's a book, Miranda can find it. It's a book.
Can I say one more thing? Sorry.
Oh yeah. You want to say something else about the collection?
Yeah.
Okay, we're jumping back.
Sorry.
And I'll find Breath while you're doing that.
There are also these beautiful covers on these books. I have no idea if this is in focus, but each one beautiful. Very old school inside, cover and everything. Just beautiful. It's like a collection you want to keep.
I'm glad you did that, because it took me a while to find it. We don't have that many books. I don't know why it took me so long to find it. We don't have that many print books. But yeah, this is the book. Really, really good. So it's called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art. I just picked it up randomly in an airport. So it actually kind of makes it even cooler, because it wasn't a book that was recommended or I had ever heard about. I looked at it and was like, that could be cool, that could be interesting. And it turned out to be really great. It has a lot of research and an amazing amount of surprising things that we learned that are just amazing. But just about breathing, how important it is to breathe through your nose, how humming and meditation can be truly powerful as well. And I was all about this book. This book is one I'm recommending to everyone this year.
It was really cool because there's a lot of things you can take away from the book. Practices, and like we live on the top floor without an elevator in our apartment building, so we try to practice some of these breathing exercises when we go up the stairs now and things, so it's good.
Yes, and I put some of that breathing into practice on a run. I just breathed through my nose, which was like, I never really thought about it before. I mean, people always said in athletics to always like breathe through your nose and out, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. But because I've had sinus issues and I've had allergies all my life, I just haven't done that. So on a run, I guess I used to just do a combination of like mouth breathing and nose. But on this run that I tried, I was like, no, I'm gonna 100% breathe through my nose, even if it's difficult. And it ended up being like the best run of my life. And it was not the fastest, but the way I felt afterward, I felt like I could have kept going. And I just felt good overall. And it was amazing to me that it made that much difference. So it's cool to see that you can put that stuff immediately into practice and see the difference. And then hopefully start to work on like subconscious breathing and not just when you're focused on it. But it's cool.
Yeah, really cool book. It definitely makes you think about things, because breathing is such a basic function that you don't think about, and it's kind of cool to focus on that and think of how breathing better can, really have kind of a good effect on other things.
Yeah. All right, the third book was definitely a combined one. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. I think we have the paperback of that as well. Definitely a must read for anybody that is feeling stressed, busy, overwhelmed, and just you can't fit everything in. This was fantastic. Both of us read it and we're like, wow, we really have to. It almost looks like the back, right? It's an interesting cover. It's not the greatest cover, but it's a great book.
They crossed out hurry.
Oh yeah, I guess they didn't really realize. I don't notice things like that.
They ruthlessly eliminated hurry.
There's like, they should have like scribbled it out probably.
No, but ruthless, so.
Anyway, it's just a book of kind of, would you say like taking back your time? What else did you, why is it on your list?
Basically, because it's something that we've utilized. Anytime we read a book and then we actually put things into practice that really help us, that's when we basically consider it a must read. Because there's other books we've read that have been other personal development type things but haven't really changed anything. And that could be on us, obviously, but
I think definitely it's on us. I like that definition of like putting it into practice, because I'm all about that. It's like you can think so much and read so much, and it's good to gain that theory, but then when really practical books like this one come along, that just it's automatically on the must reads.
And we're always thinking about too how phones kind of mess with our brains, and how social media and all these things that pull your focus away change your brain function. And so this is a really good book for that. What we've put into practice from this book is basically taking a Sabbath day. And it's not something, it's not like every week exact. It kind of morphs with what our schedule looks like. But what we try to do, the two main rules are no work and no phones. So we shut our phones down and we, no work, shut down work, mind and brain. And then we have a day where we just take it slow and we read and we cook good food and we go for walks, and it's very freeing. It's really nice to not have the phones and do things. And of course you can always have there's always a reason to keep your phone around, and that's probably the hardest part. So sometimes if we're going for a walk, we're like, oh, what if something happens? Okay, we'll have our phone, but it's off. So
yeah. But then exactly like that question is like, what if something happens? Like, you'll probably be fine, right? You can find someone to help you, or like.
A lot of people have phones. We're in a city, so definitely could find somebody with a phone pretty easily.
But this book could be called like Ruthless Elimination of Phones, because that's a huge part of it. But it is such an everyday thing. Like everybody has their phone. Everyone knows what it means to be like disconnected even a little bit from a phone, how that can feel. And it's just testing the waters of leaving your phone off overnight, getting a little alarm clock. Miranda has, I think you didn't do it for this, but you had it before. This kind of reinvigorated it for you, reinstated, whatever. But you have like a little like just battery operated alarm clock.
Using an
instead
alarm
of a phone.
clock, yeah, instead of your
So
phone.
super old fashioned.
And it just wakes you up, but then you're not immediately looking at your phone, basically.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And Jordan's been waking up some days and just doing some breathing exercises instead of looking at the phone. So these little changes are really good. And I mean, a lot of these books are super packed with things you can do. And I feel like we do kind of pull like one or two things that we feel like we can handle and apply that and see how that goes. So yeah.
It's I was gonna say really cool too, because I didn't really think about that until you said it, how like this book gave us some room and freedom to put into practice stuff we learned in the other book. Like I didn't think about that. But not having my phone to wake up in the morning, it makes me think of the tactic in breath, which is called tumo breathing, I think. I'm not gonna tell you all about that because I don't know enough about it. But I put that into practice waking up in the morning, and how much more, not exhilarating, but how much better is my brain function just getting out of bed in that way versus just staring at social media or browsing through Instagram. Like, yeah, you can wake up that way, but is it the best way? Like, no one would say it's the best way to wake up. So it's cool. It's cool when there's like multiple things, but.
Yeah, they all tie together. Basically, phones are bad to have all the time.
Yeah, phones are bad.
Use your phone as a tool. Don't let your phone make you a tool.
Exactly. So those are the top three. Again, those are the Puffin and Bloom collection. We have Breath by James Nestor, and then also Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. Miranda, you have our list. We wanted to real quick just go through the books that we would not recommend. We wanted to share that as well.
Which aren't many.
There aren't many.
No, there's only one, right?
I think we're not, maybe not as critical with books as we are on movies. I feel like with books, we kind of like, I don't know.
I think that's
You go through your list and I'll go through mine real quick and see if there's any that pop up.
Yeah. Basically, the one book that stood out as like I didn't really love reading is Courage is Calling. And
I'm gonna step in front of you because we have that one too.
Yeah. And that's because the book format was kind of bite-sized pieces. It was more something you would want to read one page every day, like super short, same style format, 1 or 2 pages, but then that repeated 200 times. So I'm more of a devour a book kind of
person.
I'm more of a devour a book kind of person.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was really awkward to read a book that was that split up into micro pieces. So I feel like I didn't really get much from it because it felt kind of overly repetitive and just like a little too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I counted it because I read over 50% of it, so that's like a technique we have. We don't really utilize it very often because both of us, usually if we start reading a book, we're like, yeah, this is okay, we'll finish it, generally. But this book, I couldn't get through for that exact reason. I was like, it just felt very repetitive and saying the same thing, so.
And also.
Great lessons, but.
Yeah, also it was very focused on war examples and battle. Battle, like, courage is something that I do want to improve upon, but I'm not exactly looking to find courage to like ride a horse in the battle. So some of those examples got old and just felt, I mean, I'm looking for using courage in the day-to-day, the little things, the, life things where it is easier to just not do something. But yeah, a lot of the examples were just like huge, massive, grand scale, and they got old. So. Yep.
Cool deal. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. We'd love to know what you're reading. If there's any books that stand out to you. Also, check out my must-reads book list, I think. And if there's anything that you would add to that, please let me know. I'll link to it in the description of the video below. Definitely check that out. There's certainly there's some books that I'm missing, so please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and happy reading.